Guys, a couple weeks ago I worked on the plow for the 812. It was really rusty and crusty, and I'll show you a picture from last winter. There was so much rust on it that the snow would literally stick to it like glue and just be all caked up on it, and it was horrible. So it was probably, I don't know, 2 weeks before Christmas or so. It was still warm out, unseasonably warm, like 50 degrees. And I wire wheeled it down, and I used some rusty metal primer, and I used some cherry red Rust-Oleum on it, and I repainted the whole plow. I never took any video because I was in a rush. It was cold out and daylight was burning, so I just needed to get it done. I finally took some video at the end when I had to work on the trip springs, so check it out. Well, I got the old $25 812 over here. The thing is in sad shape. All my tractors are getting this black mold on them. I don't know what the heck it is, but it's ridiculous. And I think it has something to do with the gas tanks, like when you're filling it up and you spill gas or something, but it's not cool. Anyways, there's barely any fuel in here. I haven't started this thing for like a month or more. And I want to just blow in the gas tank, give it a little bit of a prime, and see if we can maybe get a plow mounted on this thing as a backup plow tractor. Now, this tractor has a problem with the choke cable not working. So we got to raise up the seat, put the choke on. We're going to check our oil level here too. Oh, dude, oil's really low. Well, I'm just going to see if it will start. Then we'll fill it up if it actually starts. So, I know that's not the right attitude, but that's the truth here. Let's see. Let's see what happens here. This one will probably smoke like crazy when it starts, too. Like I said, it will smoke like crazy. Choke back on. I think it needs some more gas in it. Come on, baby. You can do it. You can do it, baby. Oh, man. Okay, well, plow's on there. I forgot I never put the springs back on or painted the springs, so I suppose I should do that this morning. Oh well. Oh yeah, here's the springs that belong on that plow. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them over to the wire wheel and brush them down a little bit and hit them with some black paint. And maybe we can get them to look pretty nice if we paint them black, you know. Problem is it's way too cold out to paint, so I'm gonna have to paint them in my garage here, which is 30 something degrees. It's still not ideal, so they will not be ready to be used today. And I also need to find a lifting mechanism that can work on that plow. I don't know, I have so much stuff laying around, but I never seem to find the right one. I will say that this length here, or this thing on the bottom is what I need, but this bolt's too long. I think the plow is a short one, so maybe I could use this one, actually. But it doesn't have a thing on here, so I do have couple of spare lift parts like this that I could switch over from one of these onto there. It's got to be here somewhere because I used it last winter. Oh, what's this one over here? Just a matter of like, oh, here it is. That's got to be the one. So we'll put this thing on, and as usual, the area where the pin goes in is all beat up and crappy. I think that this one actually broke or something because it's got some weird drill marks on the top and other things, but this is what we need to lift up that thing. So we'll put this on there. I want to say that this bolt is supposed to be 7.5 inches long. I think that that's the wrong one. I think that's one for a mower deck. See how much longer it is? So I'll go back to an old IPL and see what the length is supposed to be, and we'll make sure we get the right one. Otherwise the plow won't lift up enough, and that's not good. All right, so the one closest to you guys on my left here is the one I just wire wheeled. And it came out really nice. It only took about 30 seconds to clean all that rust off. So we'll do the same thing to the other one. And these bolts here are pretty shot, all rusted and nasty. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get 2 new bolts and 4 new nuts. These are the nuts that came off of it, and the 2 on the top are nylon lock nuts, and the other 2 are just regular nuts, but the threads on all this crap is totally shot. I would just much rather just replace them with some brand new hardware than clean up this old crap. And I may have some in stock, so we'll check it out. Let me clean up the other one, then we'll get to some paint. Well, I got a nice coat of some rusty metal primer on one side. We'll come out a little later and roll them over and do the other side. And then we're going to shoot them with some black paint after that, and hopefully they're good. I got one coat of Rust-Oleum Industrial Professional black paint on there. I really like that stuff. It covers really well. It's supposed to dry in 15 minutes also. I went back to the owner's manual for the plows, and the older ones that use this ball and socket deal give you the spec for this bolt. And it's supposed to be 7 inches, and that is the right bolt here. The shorter one is actually for the mower deck, not the plow. So I was wrong about that. And I was able to secure some new bolts here at Tractor Supply for the springs. And of course, Gravely never makes anything simple. They're 4.5 inches. I wanted to get a heavier duty bolt, but they didn't have 4.5 inches in grade 5 or 8, so I ended up with grade 3, which is probably what it had in there to begin with, so that's no big deal. On another front here, I took the top of this plug here, which again, it's really not in the best of shape. It's about to blow through, but I took a drill bit and I ran it through the hole just to clean it up because it was all bent and mangled. And I took the grinder on the edge because there was a huge like burr sticking out the edge where it was bent or something. I don't know if you can pick it up in the camera, but the bottom here is all worn out. It's nowhere near being the right shape anymore. The last time I looked up one of these pins, they're like $28 or something for this piece right here. And I'll just keep using this one until it breaks. It doesn't get a lot of use, so I don't think it's going to break too quickly. That's about it. All right, well, I got the plow here on the $25 812, and I'd never put the springs on. That was the last thing, was painting the springs, and a little orange got on there from my cardboard, but whatever. So I got new bolts for these things, and we'll mount these up, and then we should be pretty good on the plow. All right, so man, it looks awesome with those things on there. I got to put these nylon lock nuts on top, but reminds me, over here is the 8163B's plow, which I think I painted about, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe. And I'm looking at the other side, and that spring's all droopy. So I do need to tighten that spring up, and those bolts, I don't remember the deal with them, but these are threaded the whole way, and the bolts that came out of the other side were not threaded the whole way, so someone screwed with this at some point. But I never really noticed this before, but when you got these things sitting outside, water pools up in here right through that hole there. But you know, the key with the plows is having the fronts nice and shiny and smooth so that the snow rolls right off of them and it doesn't get stuck on all the rusty crap on there. So anyways, that's good. Well, this thing is so dirty I can't take it anymore. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this engine degreaser, spray this thing down, and see if this black air pollution crap will come off of it. All right, see what happens. All right, well, it looks a lot better just hitting it with a rag here real quick. I didn't rinse it off. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. It is New Year's Day, and it's supposed to be, well, not supposed to be. It's 50 degrees out right now, which is hard to believe. I just realized I got to put the angle rod on here, and then the chains. And then this is going to be our backup snow removal tractor to the 8163B over there. So, cool. We got 3 generations of Graveleys over here. Actually 4. So we got the yellow 430, which is the oldest one. Then we got the 812, which is the next series, the 800 series. Under this tarp is the 8163B, so an 8000, which is similar to this 8000 here. That's a parts tractor. And then we got the G series over here, the 18G. So if I can work on that thing and get it running, I'll have 4 generations of Gravely snow removal team here, which would be pretty awesome. It's still 50 degrees out. It's about 4:30 on New Year's Day. It's getting foggy now. I can't believe how warm it is. I don't even have a coat on. I mean, that's unheard of for New England to be 50 degrees on New Year's Day. Usually this is the coldest time of the year. And look how green the grass is. I mean, look at this. Green grass. It just wants to grow. It wants to come out and play, but it's supposed to get cold next week and the week after, so maybe, just maybe, winter will show up. All right, so the 8x10 tarp from Walmart that cost $7.99 covers this 812 perfectly. Now you just have to secure it so the wind doesn't blow it away, and we'll be all set. Well, I think we're going to get our first real snow tonight, maybe 2 to 4 inches they're claiming. So I figured I better get some tarps because all my Harbor Freight tarps from last year disintegrated, literally. They're just like compostable. I think they're crap. So I went to Walmart and I bought a Hyper Tough, or whatever they call it, silver colored tarp there for $7.99. We'll try them out this year. Got the deer out here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hungry deer going through the backyard like they're cows. Cow deers. All right, the tarps are actually 8x10, not 10x12, but they seem to work pretty good. If they were 10x12, they'd work even better, but I kind of got them draped over the machines, and I put a piece of firewood on them so that if the wind blows, it will hopefully try to keep it together here. You see how it drapes down to the ground. Put one on the hood, and that's the 430 with the blower. That's the $25 812, and over there I got the 8163B with an old tarp. I got a tarp on the commercial 12 here also, and this size works even better for the walk behind. It comes right down to the ground on all sides of it, and I put a piece of firewood on each end of it here. And I got this huge tarp here on the Dutz Alice on the loader, so we're good.